everyone, and thank you for watching this adventure in Coriolis, except, well, this time we don't have much of an adventure, as most folks were just stuck at home. I did want to talk a little bit today about Carnival Cruise Line and when we may expect to see those sailings started back up. Of course, now it's been about 2 weeks since the cruise line decided to halt all cruises and suspend all cruises. They brought all their ships back to their ports and let passengers off. Now they are either docked in foreign ports, I think mainly the Bahamas, some down in the Caribbean. There are also a few other ships now ported in their home ports in the United States. So when will we see cruises resume in the United States, particularly Carnival Cruise Line? Well, a lot of the cruise lines earlier this week, including Royal and I believe even Norwegian, came out with statements saying that they were halting cruises through about mid-May. Now, Carnival did not release a statement at that time. They did, however, put out an Instagram and Facebook and Twitter post saying that they would have an update on Friday, this past Friday, March 27th. However, when Friday rolled around, they put out another statement saying that it was a delay in the announcement. The announcement would happen this coming Monday, March the 30th. Today is Saturday, March 28th, so we're kind of in between now, just waiting on this announcement from Carnival. What will it be? I know that's a question that a lot of folks are having on their minds right now. We're at the cusp of cruising season, right in between spring break and the peak in summer sailings coming up as folks get out on their summer vacations. So will you be able to cruise this summer? How is your cruise going to be impacted? Just a couple of things I want to speculate on today. First of all, what do we know so far? As of now, Carnival has suspended most of their sailings. This is public knowledge, and canceled all their sailings, I think, through the end of March, 1st of April. However, if you go onto the booking engine on carnival.com, you will notice that there are no sailings for May the 14th. So it does seem that the announcement that's going to happen on Monday will at least move the date of cancellations through March 14th, and that's just right before peak cruising season because that's just a couple weekends before Memorial Day. However, Carnival has also canceled, or at least removed from their website, most of the Alaska sailings. The only Alaska sailings that you're going to find on their website right now, I think, are July through September. In addition, the Carnival Radiance, which is the Carnival Victory, is currently in dry dock over in Spain. It looks like they're having some issues, understandably, because of the pandemic. They're not able to get that work done as quickly as they thought. So they have currently removed, it looks like, all the sailings for the Carnival Radiance through September or October. Now, this completely skips its inaugural season in both the Mediterranean and New York City and brings the ship directly to Port Canaveral in September or October. So that's another change that's going to impact some of your future sailings with Carnival. Speaking of New York City, if we think about the situation at hand right now, it looks unlikely that we're going to see any sailings from New York City anytime soon. Even if this thing ended tomorrow or next week, New York City has been majorly impacted. They have moved several hospital ships into a lot of the major berths there in Manhattan and New Jersey. So a lot of the places where Carnival and the other cruise lines would have their summer berths and where they would take on new passengers and disembark those same passengers when the cruise was over, those are now going to be occupied by ships that are there operating during this pandemic. So it doesn't look likely, again, this is just speculation, no official announcement, but this may be something that's coming down the pike from Carnival, that New York City sailings could be canceled for the summer season, maybe into the fall. Another interesting thing to note, if you take a look at Carnival's booking engine, if you take a look at the Carnival Mardi Gras sailings. Now, the Carnival Mardi Gras is currently under construction over in Europe. It's already been delayed once. It was supposed to premiere, I think, in September, October, and take 1 or 2 inaugural cruises in Europe before heading over to New York for a couple of inaugural sailings before heading down to Port Canaveral. That got shifted, I think, by 8 cruises to November, and it's now going to premiere in Orlando in November, slated to. However, some folks have started to notice, myself included, I have a sailing booked on the Mardi Gras for January. However, when I go into the booking engine to take a look, to do a mock booking to see if there's any price drops, that sailing no longer pops up. You can't find any Mardi Gras sailings until March of 2021. So it does appear that part of this announcement that Carnival is going to come out with could include the Mardi Gras and the Mardi Gras first sailings could not happen until March 2021. Now, of course, as I said, this is speculation. We're gonna have to wait for official word from Carnival, but it does look like from their website and the inability to book any cruise on the Mardi Gras before March, that the cruise is further delayed. So those are sort of some of the things that we know so far and some of the things that we can get a pretty good idea of by just looking at Carnival's website. So purely speculation, what do I think might happen? Well, let's take a look at some more of the signs and some of the other things that have happened. Now, Carnival Cruise Line is owned by the larger Carnival Corporation of Cruises. Now, this also includes Princess Cruises, Costa Cruises, and Holland America Cruise Lines, just to name a few. There's several others that are also under that. If you saw in the news just a couple of days ago, there was a Holland America ship that's still out sailing. It's trying to make its way back. It left for this voyage before that suspension of cruises went into place. But that ship has now had several cases of the virus, and actually a few people have died, so they're trying to make it back into a port. So not very good news for the Carnival Corporation. Also, it has been reported that some of the ships that are out there, either anchored somewhere or in one of their home ports just waiting, and an empty ship, they're starting to send some of the crew home at this time. In fact, there was a video circulating on Facebook that one of the crew members had taken, that they were going to start chartering flights for some of the crew members to get back home, some of the ones that lived in Asia. It seemed like these were ones that had contracts that were ending in the next couple of weeks or months, but they are starting to send some of the crew home, and it did seem like they were going to continue to send crew home until they had very few crew left on the ships. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like we're going to be back in operations mid-May. Maybe not even by June. If they're starting to send the crew home, it's going to take several weeks to get those crew back, to get the ship back up and ready for sailings again. This tells me we could be in this cancellation and suspension of cruises for the long haul. But for several different reasons, I speculate that Carnival could be planning to suspend cruises for the remainder of 2020. First of all, just the other day, the Carnival Corporation CEO, Arnold Donald, did an interview in which he stated that while it's not preferable, the company could certainly suspend cruises if need be for the remainder of the year. Now, there are several other factors that go into this that I think sort of lend it to be the best case for Carnival to suspend cruises for the remainder of the year. First of all, we don't know when this pandemic will end. A lot of the health officials are saying that we're in the first wave and that another wave is expected in the fall. So that lends itself to sort of think that there could be a brief window of time, perhaps in the summer and early fall, when ships could sail before we start to see more cancellations in the fall if the pandemic continues. And this would cost the cruise line a lot of money. A lot of folks are speculating that Carnival is going to do like what Royal did and some of the other cruise lines and suspending cruises through May 14th. However, if this happens and conditions are no better in May, then Carnival faces no choice but to further cancel and kick the can down the road to another date, maybe late June, and then in June they'll have to make another statement. No, now it's July. And every time they do this, they're offering folks who are there canceling their cruises future cruise credit and refunds, which is totally understandable, but also onboard credit for a future cruise. And sometimes this amount has been up to $600. So that's quite a bit of money for the cruise line to continue to invest just by kicking the can down the road to further dates. It seems like if they suspended cruises for the remainder of the year, everyone's offered some sort of reimbursement if they keep their cruise or book another one for 2021, but you don't have a ton of people booking new cruises just to take advantage of that credit. Now, another reason, as I just stated, we could see another peak of this in the fall. This could affect those fall sailings. So let's just say Carnival calls the crew that they've sent home back to the ships. They start sailing again, but then you start to get people that are hesitant to cruise. Cruise lines have been in the news a lot during this pandemic. People getting sick, cruises being quarantined, people, that sticks and resonates with people. So I think a lot of folks are likely going to be hesitant to go on cruises when this starts back up. They're going to take time before they feel comfortable stepping foot on a cruise ship, very understandably. So if Carnival starts sailing and offering sailings in the summer, I feel like a lot of their ships are going to sell at less than capacity, and this costs the cruise lines money. If they are selling a ship that's, let's say, half full, they're missing out on half of the revenue. However, they're still paying just about all the overhead costs for food, for crew, for fuel, So they're actually going to be losing money in the long run if they continue cruising with less than capacity. So I think in that regard, it does behoove the cruise lines to continue the suspension in their sailings for the remainder of the year. Of course, as I said, this is all speculation, but signs do sort of point to that happening. Now, we'll have to wait till Monday to find out. Again, as I mentioned, that's when the announcement is going to take place. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you have a cruise book with Carnival? What do you think might happen? Of course, I'm an avid fan of Carnival Cruise Line. I respect whatever decision they come out with, and I just hope that everything works out for the best for both Carnival Corporation and its passengers. I know there's a lot of folks that are eager right now to get back out there. They have cruises booked. Of course they want to go on their vacations. No one likes being stuck at home, but I think right now we have to operate with just a bit of patience and just faith in the Carnival Corporation as a whole, that they're making the right decisions for both their crew and their passengers. As they always say, safety is their #1 priority, and we have to believe that that's true. So thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, go check out some of my other videos where we do go on adventures, and please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.